All right, look, this video that you're about to watch has completely thrown me for six. It has made me seriously reevaluate everything about what I'm doing at Crimson, what I'm doing as a maker, as a creative, and what my goals are. So, hey, it's a Luthier's teardown at this point. It's a standalone video, which was not the plan when I started filming this. I thought it would just be a small part of one of the Kauri or Kauri build bits and pieces. But it's really interesting seeing what happened with the internals of the guitar, how Fender have designed this, how Fishman have designed this, and what the whole thing is doing and represents for me as a professional guitar builder. So, hey, if you're interested in a bit of a monologue following that theme, skip to the end. There's going to be a in the description timestamp, all of that stuff. If not, well, I'm going to take this guitar apart in front of your eyes. Here is the offending guitar. Very, very cool. They sound great. They are built to a bit of a budget, but, well, that actually isn't a problem. The electronics are what is important to me at this point. So I'm just going to, as quickly as possible, extricate all of the bits that pick up the piezos, etc. And, well, we'll see what happens internally. I suppose this is also a little bit of a Luthier's teardown, really. This instrument off camera is going to be refitted and rebuilt. We're obviously going to have to do a lot of fretwork, etc. And we're going to put in a different set of electronics and a different pickup so that it's not being wasted as a guitar. Waste is bad. All right. Strings off. The neck is going to have a level crown polish, etc. while I'm removing the hardware. I think these strings have been on here since new. Fret pullers are good at this. I am not crushing it. I'm just gently holding the bottom and pulling up. That's a good noise. That's a nice material for bridge pins. All right, here's one of the tests. Does the neck stay in the pocket when it doesn't have screws? No. No, it doesn't. Ugh, we've got a micro tilt. Ah, I hate those things. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, that's far too tight. If you have to put that much pressure getting these things off, imagine how much you had to put getting it on. We've got a little nylon insert in there, but yeah, that's not ideal. Nylon insert. These are connected to the PCB board, so if you drop this guitar and it lands on the control knob and it pushes down, you're going to break your PCB. Ask me how I know. There you go. So yeah, this poor guitar was dropped, and you can see where it broke the beautiful Zero-Cote top, but the issue was it landed on there, and yeah, the PCB board inside here is damaged, and basically one of the positions doesn't work. So this is, well, this guitar was gifted to me, and I'm going to restore it at some point and put some different electronics in it, because why not? Sooner rather than later, actually. I don't think there's a piezo strip under here. There is a piezo strip under there. Okay. I don't know what they're doing. They've got underneath the bridge on the back a something glued down that's sort of big, black and rectangular. I thought they had some sort of a super special, extra secret, big old piezo something underneath on the inside, and that does not appear to be the case. Go on, washers. Let me show you what I'm talking about. It's probably actually just the battery. But still, interesting. Oop, of course, that's attached. That's the battery. What the hell is that? What have we got? Yeah, what is that? Fishman, come on. Anybody in the comments, let me know. I suppose we're going to do some Googling here as well. Unless Sam in the background already knows. Okay, so he's not mic'd up. He's sort of going in the background. I could sense the fact that Sam knew something. He says it is the third super secret body sensor / transducer microphone kind of a thing. I can't say the word transducer, which means, hey, it's a piezo. Piezos work by transforming physical vibrations into electronic signals, which is exactly what this is doing. It's picking up the motion of the top. There would be no reason to put a microphone directly under the bridge. There would definitely be absolutely no point in physically putting a microphone touching the bridge or the guitar, because that's not how microphones work. Secondly, and which was my first point, sorry, I'm as much explaining my thinking to Sam as I am to you guys. Yeah, microphones work by picking up air movement, and the diaphragm, as Sam knows because you restore vintage microphones among other things, the diaphragm moves and picks up the air movement. This is an enclosed unit. It doesn't have airflow, so it's not a microphone. What's the purpose of a second piezo? You can it's not going to pick up a different sound necessarily, but the piezo crystal itself affects things. You could be putting that piezo through a different op amp or whatever. If you want to boost the sound, you can have it going through a different thing to achieve different results. It gives you the flexibility to tune the sound, and the whole point of this system is that it's tuned sound electronically, etc. essentially. But yes, it could be a completely different type of piezo crystal. It could be a collection of different piezo crystals in different positions on the bridge. We've got a single undersaddle one that is also made up of 6 different things. It's just adding, well, complexity and specialness. Hell, it might just be a black box that has got nothing in it. But people are still buying these guitars. And having a super magical bit, yeah, it's one of the reasons why people buy guitars sometimes. Go Fender, go. Or Fishman, go Fishman, go. Anyway, let's get the rest of this out. See, this is turning into a whole bit. This entire build, this entire guitar build is just going crazy. Every time I do anything on it, it takes longer because it's so interesting. I don't particularly like PCB boards, but yeah, that looks cool, doesn't it? Is that a diagnostics port? This guitar's got a diagnostics port. I hate it. Okay, so I'm going to pull the quick connects. Before you do anything like this, always take photographs, or in this case, a video, so you know what's happening. That's the recharging, that's the battery, that's going to the battery. Everything is charged through here. External charging port, that's all quite cool. Yeah. Let's get the battery off. Good quality artists' palette knives are essential. And when they have Brazilian rosewood handles, poop, that's lignum actually. Would it be nice if it had Brazilian? It's just more fun if you build guitars, isn't it? There we go. Good old 3M double-sided stuff. Well, here's something fun. We've got that transducer that's under there, focus, and the pickup, and both of those are actually soldered to the PCB board. We've got that there, and we've got that area there. So this whole system comes to Fender essentially pre-wired, apart from the switch and the jack that has to be installed from the outside anyway. Okay, I want to remove the jack, so I need to lift these out. These are sort of angled jewelers or watchmakers, cutters actually, but they do their job nicely. I am liking the shieldings. So under here there is a bit of copper tape. I mean, I'm not liking all the sawdust that's been rattling around in there, potentially causing issues with your electronics. Yeah, not at all. But that strip goes from the jack all the way into the internals of the guitar, and we also have underneath the bridge plate. Sophia, come check this out. Oh, Sophia's she's literally just microwaved her lunch. Shielding underneath the bridge plates, so that the ball ends of the acoustic style strings are
I like it.
shielded. It's cool, isn't it?
Tidy.
I mean, it's going to change the tone of the guitar. Tone brass, people! I mean, the guitar itself is cool, but the electronics which were developed with Fishman are... Well, there's a reason why I'm taking the electronics and putting them into this custom guitar.
The Kauri
They're
one?
pretty good. Yeah, this is for the Kauri.
Ah, nice. That's
Yeah?
cool.
See,
Yeah,
you're
I
on
like
a video
that.
now. It's fine. We're
I was on the lunch break.
yeah. Go on then, have lunch.
Nice one.
Okay, so being very careful. I don't expect, well, especially feeling that, I don't expect anything to be pushing out of the bottom of this device here, but also, well, you never know. So I can feel the give. In other words, this piezo device, I'm assuming, that picks up the vibration at the top, is picking up that vibration through a nice, thick, double-sided foam adhesive pad. Take that information and use it as you will. Now there is a wire under there that is the top-mounted piezo coming through. Actually, no, that looks like. Okay, this is interesting. Oh, we got nothing. Yeah, look at that. Let's pick up the piezo, the vibrations of the top through a lovely, lovely, thick, chunky. Hey, look, I'm not complaining. The guitar sounds great. The guitar sounds great, and it is what it is. This other wire coming here, that's coming from the other side, but it appears to be... Oh no, yep, that's the piezo, and that there is your ground wire going. So I'm going to snip that off because I'm going to be keeping this plate in this guitar and putting another one in the Kauri. Snip that one. I also love the internal adjustment of this pickup. Not much adjustment, but I do like it. I've always thought that screws visible from the front of the guitar are a little bit disappointing. Ooh. they might be going into threaded inserts. Okay, I am very, very happy to see this. I've been doing this for years with springs and rubber, etc., inside pickup cavities when I want to have a direct mounted pickup. It's always an absolute... It's just not fun putting the springs in because obviously magnets attract springs, etc., and I glue them down inside the cavity before I put the pickup in. And that is what Fender have done here. And that's impressive. So that little bit of rubber, latex, actually looking at it by the color, that's there. And whoa, I can't see anything. Anyway, they're glued in. That's cool. That's nice to see. I often talk about Fender cutting corners and building instruments to a price point, which is, hey, that's business. Not that I seem to be able to do the same thing, but they're also very, very clever, which is why they're the #1 guitar factory brand, I suppose, in the world. History has something to do with it. Inventing the damn thing has something to do with it, or at least popularizing it. This is clever. I like it. Okay, so this box here, we've got the input, and it says it on the thing. That is your under saddle piezo. You've got grounds, you've got mag, so that's your magnetic input from the humbucker, the pickup. And then here you've got a ground and an in, and that is coming from this other secondary, I think, piezo device. Hell, it might actually be a very powerful magnetic pickup, come to think of it, because that is underneath the strings. It's just underneath the strings. But this, because the piezo strip is installed from the top of the guitar. Nope, I need a slightly bigger screwdriver. Tiny screwdriver, not a tiny wrench. Haha. And yes, I know which side is which. The black goes into the right hand side, the black is the in, the bare is the ground. It's labelled on there. I've taken photographs of that as well, so yeah, we're all good. Come on. This is a rather fun, well, I'm having fun. I do wonder if maybe you guys are or not, but hey, okay. That comes out. That comes out. I think that the direct mounted pots, that's my biggest bugbear with this system. I don't think that that is a good idea from the point of view of longevity. But hey, we've got a cool system, and that's what she looks like on the other side. Well, it looks good. There we go. I'm going to have to remember to drill my hole on the right hand side of the cavity there, because I normally do it on the other. But there we have it. Lots of cool shielding. And a question I had was how they made that this beautifully deep unsanded sound hole ring. And well, it's actually quite clever, of course, and foolproof, of course. We are talking about Fender. I've just been bigging them up. I've got to get a little bit of a dig in, yeah? Essentially, the ring locates quite easily. You can see a lot of glue around there. Basically, it's got a ring around the bottom that slides in and stops it at the right position. It's just It's actually not that clever. It's fairly basic manufacturing, really, come to think of it. But hey, cool nonetheless. It's not attractive. It's not pretty. We have got glue inside. We've got all sorts of tear out and sawdust, and I mean, literally, look at all that sawdust. The plate it's partially inlaid, but that is an elegant solution. You want something that feels nice and flush and beautiful, but also you need play. You need to have a little bit of space around it to move, etc. You want to have this comfortable thing, and it's comfortable. I can feel ridges there in particular where you've got the hard grain where my finger is and the softer grain in between, and when it was sanded, it's left a bump where the hard grain sanded slower than the grain on either side of it. If they'd spent more time on things like that, then the guitar would have been 2, 3, 4 times the price. The finish here, this is the same finish that we use for our students in the Crimson Guitars School of Luthiery. A very quick drying, open pore polyurethane varnish, and it's become premium. People now think that a matte guitar is premium rather than a high glossed lacquer, and I agree with them. It is a much nicer, much more pleasing feel. It's grain filled. I can feel the edge. I'm actually wondering if they might finish this whole top and then inlay it into the body. I mean, that would be cool, because that is a different finish, and I do feel around the edge a very slight lip. The bridge is fine. I like it. Obviously, I love the inlaid top. It's not new. I love this sound hole. I wish it had been sanded a little bit better. The electronics, well, you know what I think about the electronics. They're great. It's made out of a single piece of, well, it's a mahogany type wood. It's not sapele, even though it's ribboned like that. I have not looked at the specs. I'm going to say Spanish cedar, something like that. Very lightweight, actually very cheap, but it sounds great. It sounds great. I'm having a bit of an existential crisis here. Like, genuinely. Actually, genuinely. So companies like this are successful. They are successful because they know where they can cut corners and where they can't. Sometimes they cut too many corners and that company doesn't survive. Fender have done this in the past. Gibson have done this in the past. But if you want to be successful as a guitar builder at scale, you need to know when to say, hey, this is good enough. I've never known when to say this is good enough. I always want to go the extra mile. I just spent an hour and a half with a client this morning who was picking something up, and I noticed something tiny that annoyed me. It was a repair. It was fine. It wasn't part of the repair. It wasn't part of anything that I was obligated to do, but I spent an hour and a half fixing this tiny little thing because I felt morally obligated to do so. But that hour and a half was not paid for, and we lost money on that. My whole business, Crimson Guitars, has been about facilitating my love of building guitars and of using tools on a day-to-day basis. The custom shop, which is what we currently do, is, you know, it's lovely, and we put out high-end guitars, or very high-end guitars, and that is one thing where, hey, with a custom guitar, with a primo thing, yeah, you don't cut corners. We've tried in the past and have been consistently thinking about doing a mass production Crimson Guitars range of, using the CNCs and the lasers and all that sort of stuff. And even looking at things like Nick Huber's guitars, which are retailing at $4,000, the corners, they are cut. And essentially I need to treble my prices. I need to treble my prices or lower my standards or figure out what I can cut and what I can't cut. This is a genuine issue for me. I think that this guitar, this moment, potentially represents literally the death of my dream to have a global, the death of my dream to make thousands and thousands of guitars a year. Making a custom shop one-off or making small batches of really high-end instruments or just high-end instruments made to a good standard with a cut-off period. Don't sand the insides of the instrument religiously, Ben Crow. That sort of thing. It's really interesting. This has turned into another full-length video. Woohoo! There we go. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. And yeah. Thanks for watching. Click like, subscribe. Let me know what you think of Fender. Let me know what you think of mass-produced guitars, of this whole career that I've chosen. What should Crimson concentrate on? In order to justify the guitar building, we ended up creating a school and making guitar building tools and all of that, and that actually is and has been and probably should be the focus. Should we expand the school, make it even bigger? Should we go online with guitar building lessons online in a far bigger way than we currently do? Should I stop building guitars professionally and just concentrate on that stuff? Say no. But I'm going to go and just stand in my timber store, turn the lights off, and exist for 20 minutes or so while I think this stuff through. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Goodbye. Click like, subscribe, share, email your granny. Phone your granny, say, hey granny, I love you. I want to build guitars. Talk me down. Talk me down, damn it. Are you an artist? Are you a craftsperson? Do you make a living as an artist, a craftsperson, a maker, a creative? If so, let me know in the comments below. Shut up, Ben.